You know, I talk in a lot of rooms. I talk to a lot of people. It's the toughest room I've ever been in because the barbershop is serious. You know what I mean?
With the barbershop being the heart of the community, you know what I'm saying? This is the place, this is one of the last places that we have, you know what I'm saying, where we could come in and have that real talk, you know, get real answers.
And this man right here, I'll never forget. He fought for me. And he wasn't even a lawyer at the time. He just stood in the way of righteousness.
I think this could be a game changer for you and for the city.
They're not banking on you going out there and vote, first of all. But if you go out of this barbershop today and go talk to your family and your friends and your partners and everybody else that look like you and look like us, right? And tell them about what you heard and saw today, we're gonna win this race on December 5th. We can't win it without you.
Every time I've sat in Jamal's chair, I've learned something. And that's why I'm here tonight, to learn from you guys about what we need to do to win. And then after we win, what we need to do to win in the criminal legal system. And really all we need is a fair shot. That's all we really need. So with that, I want to open up the floor.
Over the years that I've known you, I know how you fight. I know you fight, you give your all. I don't saw or witnessed it. But I'm trying to see your take up on what these policemen, you know, like I said, I pray to God we never have to deal with this here in New Orleans. But I'm trying to see your take up on if a police is caught, you know, shooting an unarmed black man, how are you going to handle it? I mean, are you going to fall to the pressures of maybe the U.S. Attorney or the State Attorney General or, you know, the politicians around the city or the state, or are you going to just go full throttle for justice?
I'm going to answer the question two ways. Number one, the only difference between a police officer and the people in this room right now is a uniform, right? And every man or woman should be held to the same standard, right? And if somebody kills somebody in a pair of gray pants and a white shirt, they need to be held to the same standard if they're on a blue uniform. So first and foremost, police are going to be held accountable. Not just when they do major, egregious stuff like take a life, but when they lie on the stand, because that's taking a life, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I can think of a number of times that I've caught somebody in a lie on the stand, and they realize the person's going to be away from their family, their job, everything changes for them, and they still do it. So I'm going to hold them accountable when they do that, and I'm going to make a list and let the police chief know we're not taking any more cases from this officer because he's willing to lie and jeopardize somebody's freedom. Because taking a life is killing and the other piece the second way I want to answer that question is, look at the endorsements that are going around this race, right? My opponent got the endorsement. She got the current DA on the side. She got his chief fundraiser, Frank DeSalvo, the guy who represented the police who beat up the folks at the beach corner, the guy who represented the people who shot the cops on Danziger Bridge. That's her chief fundraiser. She got 6 city council members who I've been working with for the past 3 years.
And the mayor.
And the mayor. Because I made a promise to not take money from the police union. Because if you take money from them, then you're beholden to them. Right? I made a commit. The only person I'm going to owe after December 5th is going to be the people of this city. Now, if you owe this politician, Bowl, Soul, Coop, whatever, the police union, then that's real tough, right? And one other thing I'll tell you about the beach corner, a couple black RTA workers go into a bar, have a couple drinks, use a restroom, some off-duty cops start throwing some racial slurs, beat them, kick them, stomp them, spit on them. 40 witnesses. The DA at the time refused to charge a single officer with a single crime.
Misdemeanor.
Not even a misdemeanor. They didn't even do it. I mean, even the police chief at the time was like, you gotta charge them with something. The FBI at the time said you got to charge him with something. The DA at that time was Kiva Landrum Johnson, when she was an interim DA. She was also the interim DA when the massacre occurred on Danziger Bridge. Now, if the FBI can go after him, why can't? Right. So, I'm going to hold him accountable. But I'm going to hold him accountable along the way. And look, good police officers want that. Because it lets them shine, right? They don't want to deal with the, I mean, if you got a dude wild out in uniform next to you, they want that guy dealt with. Because they just want to go home safe. But when you don't do it for 3 decades, it creates a culture and environment that says you can do anything to anybody based upon the uniform and badge you have. So I'm going to hold them accountable.
How you doing, brother?
How you doing, man?
I'll take my mask off for a second. I'm on the community advisory group to the New Orleans Safety and Justice Challenge. You are our advocate in that fight right there. You know, Brother Jason Williams, one council member that we knew we could always count on and answer the call all the time. You know, we have a board outside that our installed project, we say, will make me feel safe. And it's hard for me to answer that question. As I fight for criminal system reform, and I fight for like safe places like Lincoln Beach, we still face every day outside being shot by some gangster. Literally, like to this day, because of failed systems.
Right.
I'm a sovereign man in this world, in a broken system, trying to change the system, trying to fight for a safe place. What can you do for me in that situation?
It's an excellent question, brother. You have hit on one of the biggest nuances in criminal justice reform is the intersection of criminal justice reform and public safety. And at the end of the day, it hasn't stopped your work, and it's not going to stop your work, because you do realize that the system has been unfair and continues to be unfair right now to people that look like the people in this room. But here's the piece. So when I wrote the legislation to decriminalize marijuana, somebody said in one debate, were you trying to open up a pot farm or something? No. We are wasting our time and resources on meaningless things, right? Even simple possession of a hard drug, right? Addiction is not going to get better in jail. Mental health crisis is not going to get better in jail. And so we can give those folks the building blocks they need to deal with addiction and mental health crisis. But it's not just that. It's if those cases are no longer in court, if those cases are no longer on the docket for the ADA that's looking at the situation you're dealing with, now this person has the time and space and man and woman power to get out from South White Street and go to the neighborhood and find the witnesses necessary to build a good case against the bad people. That's a job as a DA, is to deal with the bad people in the community who are hurting people. But if you're trying to do everything, if you got a 90% acceptance rate, then you can't focus and prioritize on a case like yours, right? And so that's what I want to do. I want to clear the court dockets of all of this bloat and fat that costs all of our taxpayer dollars, right? And I want to help the people we can help. Because a lot of people get a first, second, third chance that they've never gotten in life, in school, from a parent, and they're going to go in and do something great. You got a lot of other people who are out here trying to hurt people. But we have to be able to have the time and space and resources to focus on those cases. And that's what a DA can do. Now, some people say I'm soft on crime. But what I would say is I'm smart on crime, right? And that's how I would answer that question. Gilmore.
I give you example of trust. Last week I was in Lake Tahoe with my kid, with my son, for his 13th birthday. He wanted to do something real extreme for his birthday. So boom, I got the resources, I took him, right? How many times your dad ever took you to Lake Tahoe, right? But check it out, we was on ice clear water, and he was sailing. He was on the thing, right? And all I kept thinking was, if this boy lose that boat oar, right, he ain't gonna be able to get back, right? I said that to say this. This man right here is that boat oar. He's the guy that's gonna make sure you get back. He's the guy that's gonna make sure everything that as black men we go through as a district attorney be just and fair. It'd be just and fair. Now, if you do something really wild, he got to deal with you. That's just what it is. That's his job. But just and fair is what we voting for. Just and fair. And I can't even vote. I live in LA now. I flew down here to support him, right? Never gave a politician money in my life. Came out my pocket for this man. Because I believe in him. I done got in arguments with this man, about this man. Because people talking about all this and that and this. I'm all in LA arguing. You can't, this ain't right. This dude is just and fair. So if you're looking for just and fair, hey man, put your money on this man. Love you, man.
Thank you, Jay. I love you, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you. You know, Frederick Douglass said a long time ago, better to build strong boys
than repair broken men.
Yep.
So we use strong, right?
Yep. Absolutely. That's our motto.
Before everybody was saying strong, we've been using strong. That's something that I've been using for the past 15 years. This is a learning protocol. Stay present.
Right.
Take detailed notes. Raise your hand to ask insightful questions. On time, on point, on task, optimistic. N, never disturb learning through acts of immaturity. And G, get physical or emotional control in 0.25 seconds or get help from an adult. I teach all my staff to work with young people on being strong. Like, how do you have
Give them tools.
You give them tools. It's not rules.
Right.
It's tools, but it comes from that Frederick Douglass quote. You know, and so.
And it's cheaper. Like literally, sometimes the first time a kid gets access to like some good books and some computers, it's in a system.
It's in a system. Right, it's in the system.
And it will cost a whole lot less to do what you're talking about than to house and feed folks for the next 10 to 20 years.
The kids in there, they got equine therapy. Some of the kids like the pet therapy. We use the helper principle. So the helper principle is this. Anytime you take a young person who you think is on the wrong track, allow that young person to go feed a homeless person. They automatically change.
Wow.
So we use the helper automatically change.
That's
like
heavy,
this
right?
is me.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
They automatically change, and so all those things again is free. You load the kids on the bus. They hand out sandwiches. They hand out bottled water.
Purpose.
You bring in the cops. You bring the cops in. The cops then bring the horses.
Right.
So you now merging the relationship between police and
these cops are seeing the humanity.
They're seeing the humanity, and the young people are brushing the horses, and it really works. And the city needs it.
And I can't even imagine how valuable the experience is. So this cop is now seeing humanity, these young people,
Exactly.
and these young people are having at least one positive interaction
They're having a positive
with the
interaction
police.
with the police.
Yeah, that's heavy.
Yep.
That is heavy.
Thank you for
for
listening
that.
to me. So
I want to talk to you some more about that.
Absolutely.
Jason is running a campaign against every political machine in our city. Everyone. I mean, it's all lined up, right? Now here's the good news. This is what they don't know, right? This is the first time I've got a candidate that's beat every political machine before, right? So they're not banking on you going out there and vote, first of all. And here's what they're really not banking on. They're not banking on that you will walk outside of this barbershop today and go talk to your family and your friends, right? They're banking on that this conversation is going to stay right here. It's going to get on the gram for a little bit, right? It ain't going to get on your timeline. It's going to really be in the story, right? And 24 hours is going to be gone. But if you go out of this barbershop today and go talk to your family and your friends and your partners and everybody else that look like you and look like us, right? And tell them about what you heard and saw today, we're going to win this race on December 5th. But really, I'm being honest with you. We can't win it without you. We cannot win this without you. We're doing great in this campaign. Leave here today, brothers. Don't keep it to yourself. Spread the word. Wrong with Jason.